You're listening to the Mangroves to Mountains podcast, where we talk all things outdoors, hunting, fishing, paddling, camping, adventure travel, and more. Thanks for listening. Hi guys, welcome to the Mangroves to Mountains podcast. I'm your host, Jim DeSias. My guest today is Mary Lucy Amezquita, who happens to be my wife. I'm a very young...
Amezquita DeSias.
Yes. So, we're in Greece. Well, let me just ask you, where are we besides Greece?
Besides Greece, we are in the beautiful town of Kiveri, right by the sea.
And how long have we been here?
We've been here not long enough. I think we've been here, 4 days now at Kiveri?
I think today is the
Today is the fourth day.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
Well,
Fourth day.
of heaven, of absolute bliss.
And can you describe our place and the location?
We're staying in this beautiful, beautiful place in Kiveri. It's at the very end of the road.
Which shall remain unnamed.
But it's several levels of gardens. The place looks like it was just carved out of the rocks on the side of the mountain. Mm-hmm. It's absolutely stunning. And everywhere you look, you see the sea and the mountains. And it's breathtakingly beautiful.
So it's in the location, if you look on a map, it's near Nafplio, which is a port town where some of the cruise ships come into. Argos is close, a small town named Astros, Mili, Kiveri. So if you look on the map, it's in the Aegean, and it's near Nafplio. So it's southwest of Athens, about an hour and a half, 2 hours. So our trip so far, we've been in Kiveri. Where have we been besides that? Where have you gone?
Well, we were in Athens first for a little while. I think we were there 2 days exploring the Plaka, which was a lot of fun.
Explain what the Plaka is.
The Plaka is, what could I compare that to? Kind of like the Grove, maybe? A lot of little shops and little taverns and no cars. You need to walk everywhere. It was beautiful.
Restaurants,
taverns, souvenir shops, too many.
Yeah.
Lots of souvenir shops. But every couple of blocks or so that you'll find a section that's kind of roped off. Oh, it's an archaeological site. Right there, smack in the middle of the road or the way. And
usually fenced off.
Usually fenced off. And you look up, oh, it's just the Acropolis.
No big deal.
No big deal.
Just the Parthenon,
Oh my gosh, unbelievable. My favorite, I think, place was the one that had the rooftop view of the Acropolis at night.
I don't remember the name of it, but that was
Thea,
awesome.
I think it
Thea's,
was. Thea.
I think. Mm-hmm.
Outstanding, beautiful. If you're ever in Athens and you're making your rounds around the Plaka, you've got to go to that place.
And the Plaka is like the ancient marketplace, so it's been around since the Parthenon was built. It's really, really old, thousands of years.
Ancient.
And so the same thing's been going on there for at least 3,000 years probably, 1,000 years before Christ. So pretty amazing. So the Plaka is one of your memorable places. Where else have you gone that's been kind of memorable or just stood out to you on this trip?
Well, we went to Argos to visit with family for a little bit. And what was the name of that place, Jim? We went to, Castle Larissa.
Yeah.
The Castle of Larissa or Larissa Castle. No gates, nobody standing around
no guards.
Selling you a ticket, nothing. You just drive up to the top of the mountain and you make your way into the castle and you can see, my gosh, I think we could see all the way across
all the way to Nafplio.
To Nafplio from the castle. It's so ancient, it's hard to describe. I'm trying to think what I can compare it to.
I think it's about 700 years old, so it's not as old as the ancient Greeks.
Right.
But it's still plenty old by American standards.
It's plenty old. And it's just the view from up there is just incredible. And then
Argos, sorry to interrupt. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Then we went to the village to visit the family.
You want to try to pronounce it?
Of course, Akladokambos.
You're getting so good at that.
Look
Better
at that,
than me.
Akladokambos. I don't even have it written down in front of me.
Yeah.
Akladokambos, which is the village of the wild pears. I think the word for pear is akladi. And they grow wild.
Or Claudia.
Claudia in the entire village. And if you're ready for a little snack, you just pull over and pick a few from the tree. Unbelievable.
And in our last trip, we found a mulberry tree which was in perfect bloom. And so we was how many mulberries do you think you ate off? My
Oh my
brother
gosh, at
Andrew just
least
came
like
in. He's
20.
outside sunbathing.
At least 20, right from the tree. We didn't rinse them.
Yeah, they stay in your hands for a few days, right?
Yeah, but I survived. I didn't get sick or anything.
They're so delicious.
Oh, and there's this other place that we stopped at. It's just like a spigot
Yeah.
right out of the mountain, like a faucet
Right.
right out of the mountain. And the water is believed to have healing properties. And people come from all over to fill their plastic water bottles
Containers,
with,
yeah.
with their
Free water.
containers. So we drank, I think, our fair share
We filled all of our bottles.
We did.
To have later.
for later.
I already feel younger and look younger.
The Greek fountain of youth.
Yeah.
Oh, and then we also stayed at a hotel in Acladocampos, which
The
peop-
only hotel.
the only hotel. But it's funny because the locals don't call it a hotel; they call it a motel. But really, it's a hotel
Or hostel.
or hostel. But we had our own room; we didn't have to share with anyone.
No, it was really nice.
And the most memorable part of that time was that Mr. Dusayas, Mr. Renaissance man who can do all things, couldn't get the door to our room
Oh
to
my
open.
gosh.
And
At
then-
3 in the morning.
At 3 in the morning.
We had a late night at the tavern.
And then we went downstairs to call for help. So we're dialing the number of the hotel and it's ringing right at the desk that was 5 feet away from us. So we couldn't get anybody on the phone.
We could
Oh,
reach
it was
ourselves.
hilarious.
That's about it. Hello, can I help you?
So we finally, Jim finally figured it out. And then we went to, we have an adapter.
Because the outlets here in Europe are different. They don't. I think 110 versus 220, so you have to have an adapter to go into the wall, the socket.
So right after we had the situation of, well, where are we going to sleep? I guess we can sleep here in the lobby. There's AC.
Yeah.
Jim goes to put in the adapter. He plugs it in, and he took out all of the power from the entire hotel.
Tripped a breaker.
Everything
wow.
was just in darkness.
We found the fuse box after a few minutes and turned it back on, so we were okay. But
Yeah, that was
the
funny.
other guests would not have been happy with me the next morning without AC and summer in Greece. Even in the mountains, it was 90 probably.
I loved going back to your papu's house in the village and spending time with Maria and Yanni.
Who are
Your bisabuelos, they're your grand uncles.
Yes.
Grand aunt and uncle, not great, grand.
I guess that's how that
Yeah,
works.
that's how that
So
works.
there, Maria Ducias is my father's first cousin.
Mm-hmm.
So,
It was beautiful.
hmm
The view from the mountains is breathtaking. I have memories from when I lived in Colombia briefly, going up to the mountains, but the combination of the mountain view and the sea, like side by side, it's incredible.
spectacular.
Spectacular.
So, funniest moments besides the one you just mentioned.
Besides
Can you think of any
those
other
two,
ones? Or just memorable things, stories.
Well, it was really great to see our cousins, well, because he's my cousin now,
Yep.
George and his wife Helen.
Milonas.
Mm-hmm. And so we drove around Argos. He's the one that took us to that castle, Castle Larissa. We were starving. So he said, well, what do you want? What would you like to eat? So we had the pita sandwiches, right?
Oh, they ordered.
They ordered it like we would order from, Postmates or
Pizza Hut.
Grubhub or
Pizza
Pizza
Hut.
Hut. I kid you not, less than 5 minutes. We had the most delicious,
Gyros and
yeah.
souvlaki.
fresh, delicious.
And they also do that for coffee, so you can get iced coffee delivered to your apartment or hotel within minutes. I was just stunned
Iced
how fast
coffee
it was.
is a big thing here because you only drink hot coffee in the mornings. And then that's it. You can't get hot coffee anywhere past lunchtime.
Which my brother has been very unhappy with because
Yes,
he
he's been
hot coffee all day long.
Reticent to assimilate.
At least as far as that goes.
At least as far, just with the coffee.
Mm-hmm.
But just to be here and with the family and to hear the stories of the family, generations back, it's beautiful.
It is, yeah. I feel at home when I'm here. So it's a. We think when we're not here, we think about it all year, right? When are we coming
every
back?
day.
We
When are
plan
we
for
coming
it. We
back?
save.
Yep.
And it's been 40 years since the last time COVID kind of.
We were supposed to be here last summer.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yes.
finally we're here.
Finally
Next
we're
time
here.
we'll stay longer.
Mm-hmm. And next time we'll do our wedding in the village.
Yes, at the Church of St. George.
Yes. Anything else you can think of? Oh well, what's the rest of our trip going to look like?
Oh,
We have
I
a few
went
more
night
days.
swimming last night.
There's actually a video of that, guys. If you want to, I haven't posted it yet, but I
Oh,
will.
and the stars. My goodness, the night sky. You can see all the
Incredible.
stars.
There's very little ambient light here. Even
Mm-hmm.
there's a town, but it's after a certain hour, there's not much light.
Oh,
Unnatural
parents,
inside.
if you're a parent, you're going to love this. Kids are not on their devices here at all. We're staying at a place that's not really very touristy. It's more like where the locals will go for their vacation, like if we were to go to Naples or Sarasota or something like that. But the children, and there will be 3 generations sitting at the table, and they're all participating in the discussion or they're observing. I have yet to see a young child, elementary school age, with any sort of device. It's really wonderful
They're
to
just
see.
playing. They play. They were playing hide and seek
The
at
young
the restaurant.
adults, yeah, but even the young adults, I don't see them very often with their devices out. They're
No.
they're talking. What a
Imagine
concept.
that.
Wow.
Yeah. So over the next few days, we're going to go to the village tomorrow, Akladokavos, and then we'll
Head
Saturday.
back to Athens.
Well, Saturday I have plans to fish with a fishing guide. His website is Fly Fishing in Greece. His name's Michalis, which is Mike. I can't remember his last name. So there'll be video. Hopefully there'll be video of that fishing trip that'll be on the YouTube channel, which is Mangroves to Mountains video. No, Mangroves to Mountains channel. And so I'm really excited about that. It's always been a dream of mine to fish in Greece. I mean, I fished on the beach a bit, but it's been pretty slow. I don't really know what I'm doing. So in the mountains, it's going to be trout fishing. So I do know
That's
what I'm
going to
doing
be
there.
wild.
It's wild. It's in pretty. It looks a lot like Colorado or Montana. I'd say mostly more like Colorado's. Pocket water, big boulders, fast water, running water, ice cold. So
we're
excited about that.
We're going to meet with the village artist,
Oh yes, Makis.
Makis, on Saturday. You should definitely
I'll film some of
prepare
that.
something and film that.
He doesn't speak
is-
much Greek, or much. He speaks all Greek, not much English. So I can't really interview him.
Oh, but he and I communicate without a problem.
Somehow, I don't know how, but yeah, I'll definitely film some his place and an incredible view from
incredible.
his home, and he brews his own wine in the wine cellar. He has his own little chapel there. He's an artisan, sculptor,
Collects all the antiques
yeah.
that he just finds around.
He's
the-
even found old rifles from World War II in the
Mm-hmm.
fields in the village, and usually German rifles, and refurbishes them to make them usable.
usable.
He'll build
That's
rebuild.
incredible.
He'll save the barrel, polish it up, clean it up, get the rust off.
He's a Renaissance man.
Yeah, he can
he
do
is
it
a
all.
modern day Renaissance man. He's built everything himself there.
When we saw
Everything.
him, we were getting coffee in the village the other day, and he just happened to be driving by. We didn't even know he was going to be there, and Marty flagged him down, and
I'm like, Makis, come
Yeah,
back!
so
I ran
excited.
after the truck.
a
I'm
rock
like,
star.
we're here.
like the Greek Beatles.
And then all the old timers that were at that little cafe, they were just chuckling to themselves,
Chuckling,
like,
like,
oh my gosh,
why
like
is he
why is he
famous?"
so important?
She gives him a big hug, and he's all excited, and
Aw.
needless to say. And then,
We
yeah,
think of him all the time at home.
just a very different, kind of an old soul from a different time.
Mm-hmm. From a different
that
time.
we can have a bira with, or a
That's
cafe.
great. That's beautiful.
Yeah. Okay, Marty,
All right.
what do you think? We'll maybe do another one at the end of the trip?
I think we should.
Yeah, great
Let's
job.
see what other places you can't seem to open and what other trouble we get into.
There's never a dull moment.
Oh, I've fallen down, maybe almost fallen. How
I've
many
saved you
times?
3 or 4 times.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, you got to be on
I'm
your
gonna leave
on
some
your
blood
toes.
here.
You got to be on your toes. With
And
the
very
cars,
few mosquitoes. Oh, what a
almost
blessing.
none. Yeah,
Yeah.
Very, very few.
It's just great.
The cicada, I've never seen such a big hatch of cicadas, so that's why we're doing this inside, because the cicadas outside are just nonstop and probably be pretty poor audio. So, but maybe we'll do one in the village outside and see how it goes.
We should.
Okay.
Well, thank you for
Thanks
having
again.
me. I
Yeah,
hope
what a
I've
great
been
guest.
a good guest.
Yes, thanks so much.
My pleasure.
Okay, guys, if you want to subscribe, you can go to the channel. It's Mangroves to Mountains channel on YouTube. I also have a Patreon page. It's called Jim Desaias. And what else?
And Kalispera.
Kalispera. No, yeah, Kalispera. You're right.
Kalispera. Ha!
Good job.
Awesome.
Thanks for watching the video, guys. Please like and subscribe. Thanks.